Oh, well hi sculpture class. Today I'm going to be showing you how to overglaze things. Come along, let me show you. The first thing you're going to want to do is decide what colors you might want to have on your project. Over here we have our glaze chart. Those colors that are circled are the ones that you have as options to use for overglaze. But be careful, because there's two versions of the color. One has the red clay, which we're not using in this class, and the other is the white clay. So always focus on the color on the left-hand side, because that's what your project will look like. To begin with, I need to get my glaze ready. So here are all the glazes. They're all stacked on top of each other, nicely up against the wall, which is the way they should be at the end of the class period anyway. So I've decided that I'm going to use light yellow, because I like the look, and I'm also going to be doing sapphire blue. So these are the two buckets that I'm going to prepare for my glazing. So first, I'm going to open the bucket. You'll notice on the inside of the bucket that the glaze has gone down to the very bottom of the bucket. There's a layer of water on top. So we need to mix this glaze to make it so that the sediment of the glaze is evenly mixed throughout the whole glaze. So what I'm going to do, making sure that my drill is not plugged in, I'm going to make sure this is cleaned off. If it's not, I'll bring it to the sink and I will wash this off, making sure that the drill is nowhere near the actual running water. Okay, it's good. Come back over by the glaze, plug in the drill. I'm going to insert the drill all the way down to the very bottom of the bucket. Start drilling. You'll notice that I'm going up and down with the drill while I'm having it go. This is going to make a good even mixture. And I'm going to continue mixing until I don't feel any glaze chunks down at the very bottom of the bucket. We're all set. So, wash off the drill, just like shown before. Mix up the next glaze. I want to make sure that this glaze isn't too close to the other one, because I don't want to cross-contaminate the glazes, which means that I get some drips of one glaze in the other bucket. Careful, because this will splatter, so if you take the drill out while it's spinning, you will get filled with glaze. It's glazing time. Time to take this bird and get some glaze on it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide if it's easy enough to hold my pottery just with my hand to dunk into the glaze, or if I'm going to need to use one of our special tools to hold it. To hold your project with these grippers, you just need to find a good steady spot where all 4 points, so 2 on this side and 2 on this side, can be firmly attached to the clay. Right? Now, I'm going to angle the project so that it can enter the bucket fully. Right? This way it's going to be a little bit tight, so I'll go at an angle, dunk real quickly, take it out, and I'm pouring out any extra glaze, so we don't have so much glaze all in one spot. Right? Then I'm just going to place the project right here while it dries. Right? It's helpful when you're releasing the tongs to use both hands so you don't scratch your glaze on the project. So we've got one coat on here. Now what's interesting with glaze is that you can layer the glaze on top of itself with other colors. So that way you've got a different kind of look. So this would turn out to be a sapphire blue, which is a real dark blue. But what I could do is add to some parts of the project another type of glaze. Now the yellow has been sitting here for a little while already, so I'm going to mix it up again, but instead of using the drill, I can use one of these large wire whisks. That's just to make sure that in the time that the glaze has been sitting here, if there were to happen to be any sediment that created, it would be mixed up again. Okay. So for this bird, I'm going to do a little dunk just for the beak. So I'm going straight in with the project. And then I'm going to take a little cup and I'm actually going to drizzle some of this yellow onto the project to have kind of a splattered effect. So some parts are going to be this blue, and other parts are going to have kind of some splattered yellow on it. Okay. Project is glazed. Time to make sure that this project won't stick to the kiln shelf. So, to do that, I've got to make sure the entire underside is cleaned off. Now, with some of these projects that have a thicker coat of glaze on them like this one, I'll actually want to clean up the edge as well, about 1/4 of an inch or so. So, I'll come over by the sink, grab a sponge, fill it with water, squeeze it out, and now I'm going to be washing off the underside. Now, once the sponge is filled with glaze in a spot, you can either use another part of the sponge or just go back over to the sink and get some more water in that sponge. All set. Glaze project should be placed on the kiln cart.
He's new around here.
Project is glazed. That's great. But look what I've left out here. Well, I should probably put this stuff away. So I gotta make sure the tops are on the glaze. So light yellow goes with a light yellow bucket. Right, if there happened to be any glaze that was put onto the top of a bucket that's a different color, I want to make sure that that's rinsed off. So we don't want to cross-contaminate the glazes. Wire whisk will be washed. Cover up the top for the glazes. Right, and then stack them back up. Now, not all the overglazes are gunking. Okay? You can paint them on if you mix them up, put them into a cup, and then brush them on. Do at least 3 coats. There's also these 2 colors here, red and orange, that are paint on as well. Again, 3 coats will be what you want to use. You just take it, shake it up a little bit, put it into one of the cups up here, and you can paint it directly onto your projects.